In all four of these, there's a follow-up question I have. Your topic is the essence of capitalism. And the question would be, in characterizing each of these four positions, what are they taking the essence to be? Is it that they are saying this is the feature that differentiates capitalism from various other systems? Are they saying that this is the feature they think is most fundamental to capitalism, such as you put your finger on this explains everything else that goes on in capitalism? Or are they saying that the essence of capitalism is what commends itself to us? The first two strike me as more descriptive, and the third one seems more normative. And all of them are saying this is what capitalism is, but they also all end up saying, and this is why I think capitalism is the best system.
Yeah, I think that's fair. In fact, I would say they're all probably doing, in some sense, the first two that you mentioned. They don't always explicitly say focus on the third, the recommended part. But I think there's a tacit recommendation in all four of them. Well, explicit in the Rand case because that's what she's about, right, is a recommendation. In the other three, they may put sort of the recommendation issue aside and focus on what they're calling the descriptive part, and also what's fundamental about it, what explains in a way the founding principle, all the other things. But I think that there is in their explanation a kind of tacit recommendation that can't be avoided. I mean, I think they're saying if you really understand how the system works, you will be in favor of it, and the kinds of criticisms that are made against it can be met if you really understand how the system works, and you will be in favor of it also.
Right, so if we walk through each system, the Friedman utility claim, people in that group would be to say what distinguishes capitalism is its recognition that it is self-interested utility maximizers able to act and exchange with each other freely. And then tacit or explicit is, and that's good because that system maximizes social utility better than any other system.
Right.
Is that fair?
That's right. So we get a big benefit from it.
Okay, so Hayek, the epistemic one, would be what is distinctive about capitalism is its recognition of the dispersed, localized, often tacit nature of human knowledge,
right,
and its institutions for coordinating that. And why capitalism is best, maybe made explicit, is that it coordinates knowledge better than any other system can coordinate knowledge.
Yeah, that's right. So when I sort of concluded, I said it clarifies. Capitalism is a system which clarifies value. I mean, there are lots of values out there that are tacit, partially expressed, and so forth. It's a way of coordinating and clarifying those values such that, yes, it's true, like the utility people say, we get benefits, but more interestingly, we actually get coordination, we get efficient use of resources, which means they're put to their best valued use and not to the wrong sort of valued use or not to a misallocation.
All right, so if we try to do then for the Adam Smith aesthetic view, what he would say is capitalism is a system of natural liberty given people's sentiments, right, and passions. But what makes capitalism commendable is that it takes sometimes base passions and transforms them into socially useful results.
Right, that's certainly one of the benefits that it has. It has some of the other benefits that we would talk about with the Hayek and the utility view as well. I don't mean to say that, but what's distinctive about Smith is he also recognizes that, in a way, the flaws of human nature, if you will, or at least what have historically, traditionally been regarded as flaws, can be transformed into benefits if they're only properly channeled. And proper channeling turns out to be the system of natural liberty, where people are free to trade and coordinate with each other as they see fit on a kind of local level, but it actually turns out to benefit society as well. So these things about us which may be from a kind of moral philosopher's point of view, not necessarily the ideal characteristic you'd want an individual to have, can, in some cases, actually be turned to the benefit of us all.
Okay. And then if we were to do the same for Rand's view, her descriptive thesis, it would be that capitalism is the system that respects individuals' rights to pursue their own lives and liberties and respects their property. And what justifies it morally is that it does precisely that, because respecting an individual's autonomy, creative potential, and choice about how they want to live their life is the fundamental moral value.
Right, and it's important that we don't respect it because if we do, we'll get more stuff because people are more creative. No, we respect it because it is the morally correct position to hold about the nature of capitalism. Mm-hmm. That is, human beings are worthy of that respect. They're worthy and, in fact, are owners of their own lives. And that's where the starting point is. So, yes, again, we'll get stuff and goodies from it, for capitalism will produce these things, but we need to realize its moral foundation is the, if you will, the autonomy of the individual, or the independent nature of each of us, the self-ownership. There are a number of terms that might be used descriptively to talk about the moral basis, but it's clearly a moral focus in that case.
All right, having delineated these four views, toward the end of your talk, you raised the question of how comparable or compatible, right, the four are. All of them are explicitly doing a descriptive thesis, some of them more or less explicitly a normative thesis, right, as well. So in your judgment, are they all ultimately compatible? They're just focusing on various aspects, or do you see deep incompatibilities at any point?
It's a hard question because I really don't know that I feel comfortable sort of giving a kind of a pat answer. One thing that seems clear to me is that the first two seem pretty strong descriptively. Okay, the second two seem pretty strong morally. Are they all compatible with each other? I don't know. If you read Smith as somebody who says sort of the ultimate defense of capitalism is what it does for others, then it seems she's probably incompatible with Rand, but could be compatible with the other two doctrines because they don't make really much of a pronouncement on that question. Similarly, although there are social descriptions in the first two, they would possibly be quite compatible with Rand, even though they might not hold the same moral perspective, although I think she would argue that they would need to hold that moral perspective in order for capitalism to get off the ground. So I in a way, think that at least Smith and Rand are concerned about the moral dimension of capitalism. I'm not always so sure about Hayek and Friedman or the Chicago School, whether they care very much about the moral question. In that sense, maybe there is a lack of comparability, that they're actually focused on different things between them. Ultimately, in my own mind, I think I can probably get them together. But it requires maybe doing some things with each of the theories that the theorists themselves might not particularly like, such as cutting them down, making their claims a little less grandiose and a little more focused in order to get them all to work together.
Okay. Dr. Den Uyl, thanks for being with us today.
Yeah, thank you.